Back. Got mics on the mics. We are back. Episode 8. How you feeling, Mike?
I'm feeling good. It's been a minute, and that's okay. Life happens, but we're here and we're back. So
Yep, we're back. Better than ever.
I'm really excited to get right back into this. This is I've been itching to get back into it.
Same here. We might be a little bit rusty, so give us
can
some,
we remember how to do this?
Yes. But we got the beers flowing. It's a beautiful day outside. We can't complain. There's a lot to talk about.
So much has happened over the last couple weeks.
There
I don't
has.
know. We won't be able to touch on all of it, but we'll get to some of the main points. It's gonna be good. I'm excited for today's episode.
We got a great show planned. We're gonna get into a little bit of the Tigers, and obviously there's been a lot of Lions news coming through. We had the draft, we had the extensions, the schedule, and then
schedule came out yesterday. I'm excited to talk a little bit about that.
Yep.
We're not necessarily go through each game today, but don't worry, it's coming.
Yes, stay tuned. Next week, we're going to get into our game-by-game picks, predictions, and all that. Right now, we're just going to, when we get to it, we're just going to preview a little bit, talk about maybe some of the games, what we saw. But yeah, let's...
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm excited to talk Lions, and I really want to get into Lions because a lot of things have happened. But
Yep.
Let's cover the Tigers because I have some really good things and some really bad things to say about them.
This team, they're I mean, just call it like it is. They're brutal to watch. I mean, unless you love pitching.
It's almost like a bipolar team.
Oh,
right.
Totally
I mean, you got
is.
the pitching phenomenal, and then you get the bats, and
it's just completely cold. I mean,
the last two games. Okay, they're playing the Marlins. Marlins are horrible.
Yes.
Right? And we're not gonna go game by game, but Marlins are a horrible team. They're already starting to trade away their players. Mm-hmm. They lose yesterday 2-0. They lose the day before 1-0.
Right, 10
Pitching
innings.
phenomenal. Reese Olson went out there and pitched a gem the other day.
Yeah.
I
don't know where that guy came from, to be honest. I don't know where they found him, what they did with him, what they injected him with. But he's just. I was looking at his stats the other day. 2.09 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. The guy, and his team can't buy him a win. It's just like, what the hell?
No, and even like you see in Skubal, right? He's pitching a gem. He's a Cy Young candidate.
I think he's the favorite. He's the favorite. I think right now he's
and he's got 5 wins. And I don't really care about wins lost for pitchers.
Yeah,
I don't think
matter.
it really matters. But he's like 5-1, I think 5-2.
That makes sense.
And but the fact that we just can't give him. I mean, these pitchers are going out there every day. Mm-hmm. And not every day. I mean, we get beat up every once in a while or give up a lot of hits. But majority of the time, our pitching is phenomenal. Even when the bullpen comes in, they've been doing pretty well.
There's
and
been
here
some
we are,
bright
just
spots.
No offense. Cannot swing the bats.
I know. And you know what? I was really giving this some thought today, and it just seems like there's like a disconnect within the organization between the hitting and pitching. Like it seems like we're finding guys, like on the pitching side, we're finding guys, we're plugging them in. Fetter is doing his thing with them, and they're coming out. Like I looked at Reese Olson's minor league stats.
Yeah.
And I was like, you would never predict that the guy would be having this type of season. Tyler Holton, another guy too. But these guys are, they found something with these guys, must have tweaked something.
Yeah.
And now you have a bullpen, a starting rotation minus Maeda. This if they could hit the ball average, this is probably a World Series caliber team. But
just average. That's all we're asking
Yeah.
for. It's just average. I mean, Torkelson just got his first home run last week.
right
Or
when they were
earlier
losing,
this week.
what were they losing 9-2?
Yeah.
in the bottom of the ninth. Oh,
And
thanks.
I think he had another one the next day. But we're a quarter of the way through the season.
Yeah.
Which is also strange already.
I know.
I think we played like 42 games.
Yeah.
Right. So we're a quarter of the way through the season, and he's just now getting his first 2 home runs.
Yeah, he's going to be that type of hitter where he's just going to be streaky. But the thing is, like you said, we're already 42 games into the season, and he's just now hitting home runs. Like, that's not what we drafted you number 1 overall for.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
You're supposed to be our 2, 3, 4 hitter. You're supposed to slide into one of those spots, hit 300, 30 home runs, driving 100 runs.
Yeah.
Get on base.
Have a high OPS.
Yep. But he's
20
was he
plus
batting
home runs.
210? His on base percentage is under 300. 2 home runs.
That's ugly.
Under 20
Those are
RBIs.
ugly numbers.
It's very ugly. And you got guy.
I'm surprised we're still a 500 team right now.
Thank God for our pitching.
Yeah, and also thank God for a horrible division. I mean, we haven't really played recently a lot of our teams in our division, but they're all losing too. I mean, the Guardians kind of came out of nowhere this year.
Yeah.
And I actually called them the Guardians. I'm surprised I remember
job.
it. Yeah.
Good job. You could call them the Indians too. I'd have been fine.
Yeah, but the Guardians are kind of coming out. The Twins started off slow. They're kind of coming back up. But this is a garbage division this year. Mm-hmm. This was really a chance for the young kids on this team to challenge for the division. And I'm not saying anything more than challenge the division. You get into the playoffs, the Orioles, the Yankees, fuck the Yankees, will destroy you in the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. That's fine. But it was our chance to kind of see what this team future could really look like. And I this offense, I mean, a quarter way, everybody's just starting to be clicking.
Yeah, it should,
now.
It should start. Yeah, I don't see it, like, I don't really see it upticking too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was looking at their stats. You know, they're 27th in on-base percentage. They're 23rd in batting average. They're 25th in slugging. They're 26th in OPS. And compare that to, I'll just give you the stats. So their on-base percentage is 297. That's awful, okay? Their batting average is 225. Slugging is 358. Bleh. And then their OPS is 655. And let me compare that with the Dodgers. This is the best hitting team. They have every single stat. They are number one. 297 batting average, okay? Or I'm sorry, that's their on-base percentage. Wait, nope. That is their batting average. Do I have that right? Yeah. 344 on-base percentage, 442 slugging, and 786 on OPS, just to compare. So we are...
Huge difference.
Humongous difference. It's just not even close. And it's... I don't know what they're going to do.
And it's not like... like watching the games this past week, and so... We are drawing some walks. We're getting some guys on base, but we're not... I mean, we're getting hits, right? Not a lot, but we're not doing anything or capitalizing when the guys are in scoring position or on base.
We're getting a single here and there, and then it's 3 more outs.
How many times have I seen the bases loaded this year and
nothing?
1 run or 0 runs?
Yeah.
I mean, and there's only so much that the pitching and starters and bullpen can do to keep us alive. I mean, 2 runs, 1 run, back-to-back games. You can't ask them for anything else.
You're right.
They got to be so frustrated. I've always wondered how that works on teams, right? The behind the scenes, like, bro, I'm doing my job.
Yeah, right.
Can you please get a hit, a couple runs? If all I'm asking for, and I'm still just using these last 2 games, because there's also been so many other one-loss games that we've had this year. Give me 3-4 runs.
Right.
3-4 runs, and we could be winning a lot more games. That is not much to ask for.
I know. Something I was considering too, you got to wonder is the Tigers have all these players on the team that kind of like are in this platoon state, right? Kerry Carpenter, left-handed batter, only hits mainly with righties. Kind of they play the matchup game. Urshela, he's good against lefties.
Yeah. Did they figure out Carpenter this year?
He's been hitting the ball better, but I just wonder, like, okay, maybe just let the guy play full time. Maybe keep more of a consistent order.
Yeah.
Not, these guys are just being sprinkled in here and there, trying to match up with certain pitchers and whatever. And I just, is that really getting these guys some consistent, getting them into a rhythm? Well, I don't know.
That's also a concern. I mean, we have no third baseman. We just kind of like any, mini, miny, mo every day of who's going to go out there. Yeah. And the guys platooning in the outfield, like you said, Carpenter, and give them a chance. I mean, I understand the league kind of figured out Carpenter from how good of a year he had last year, but I also agree with you in the sense that the consistency of trotting him out there only against certain-handed pitchers, that doesn't do anything for these guys. These are young guys. These aren't veterans. It's one thing if it like.
Yeah, they needed
Canna
bats.
was like, I can hit right-handed, but I can't hit left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
But he's also been in the league
he's 35.
Right,
Yeah,
he's a
34,
veteran.
35,
so
yeah.
that's kind of how it worked, right? That's kind of what we did with Miggy, right?
Yeah.
He'd play first every once in a while, then he went to DH, and he was sitting and all that. That's what you do with veterans. You don't take these young guys and just like, you're only going to play against. Well, what if you go 2-3 games and they're putting out the opposite-handed pitching that you are able to hit against?
Right. I
don't get it.
I don't know. It just seems it screams to me that they just don't have a lot of confidence in some of these guys, and I don't know how well that bodes for these guys. And I guess it's like, do they have to make a move? Do they have to make a trade?
But I don't know where we're sitting. Are we? I don't think we're buyers. But I also don't see us as sellers because I
put.
like, but that's not the answer either. So, and it's in a weird position. We're playing 500 ball. I'd say we don't buy because I don't think we're in a position that we could go get that one player that's really going to push us over the edge and actually give us the chance in the playoffs. Again, the division might be up for grabs if we can get back on just because our division is so bad. I don't want anyone to think that I think we're actually a good team, right? We have potential. But we get to the playoffs, we're getting destroyed by any AL East team or any AL West team. But then I don't want to sell because we have all these young kids.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't know exactly, and it's not like you can use Urshela or Canna as some type of trade bait because, I mean, they're older and they're not at the top of their game,
Right, but
so I don't know what it is.
They're like Canna's serving his purpose. They brought him in to get on base, and he does, like the other day he did hit a grand slam.
And he's been doing well. I have nothing against.
He's
doing what he's
doing
here.
what he's supposed to do. It's just the Colt Keese, Javier Baez.
Oh, I'm out. I don't even want to. And the
Torkelson, and even Riley Green lately hasn't been good. So I don't know. It's just
I know
they need to do something. But I think you might be right as far as making a move right now because I don't think that they're in a position to put themselves over the edge where they're going to win the division. I don't think that's going to happen this year. But I think in the offseason, I think they're going to have to do two things. I think they're going to have to sign somebody, and I think they're going to have to move one of their stud young pitchers. They have a plethora of them, whether it's on the team or in the minor leagues that are poised to be coming up soon. I think they're going to have to
not everybody's going to be here.
Right, and you can't, you already seen it right now where, you have Matt Manning sitting in Toledo, and I think he's good enough to be your fifth starter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And they're only bringing him up right now during
doubleheaders. Yeah, when they can add that extra guy. And then you also have Jackson Jobe or Ty Madden sitting down there too. Those guys look to have plus major league stuff. Reese Olson could even be some trade bait. You basically got him for nothing, and now, look at them. So they're handling that part of the team extremely well, but it is completely different on the hitting side. It just I don't know.
And
if
that's where you go.
Organization issue, minor league development, or drafting. I don't know, but it's not working.
If you make a move, if you were to make a move right now, we'd have to make some type of move to obviously improve our offense.
Yep.
But I really don't want to touch the pitching to make that happen because I'd hate to see us. Oh yeah, now we got a hitter, but there goes the pitching.
Right.
And I feel like the Tigers, even when we were on our World Series runs and our playoff runs. And I'm not talking about the rebuild. I feel like and most teams have this, right? But you have a stronger side than the other, right?
Sure.
Back in the day, it was, oh my God, our hitting, right? Mm-hmm. You had Vmar, you had Miggy, you had Prince, right? You had all these guys unstoppable. And now our rotations were always good, but our bullpen was, I don't want to say garbage, but they would lose a lot of games, right?
Yep.
Now we're kind of switching over. Here we are. Bullpen and starting rotation is good. And it's hard to line up both sides, but if you just the lack of and the amount of strikeouts these guys are getting. They're swinging at garbage pitches, and I don't know. It's very frustrating to watch, and I like a good pitching duel. Mm. But at the same time, those games can feel really long when nothing is happening. And
the offense is dreadful. I mean, like you said, against the Marlins, the last two games, you score 0 runs. Against the team that was bottom 7, I think, in ERA. It's just like, come on. Like, if there was a weekend or a series, to snap out of the slump, that would have been it. But it's just, we're not putting any pressure. We're not getting any guys on base. It's awful. And you know what? They have to do something with Baez, because I wonder how much.
I saw you put that on the show sheet, what to do with Baez, and I'm just.
They have to figure something out.
I would honestly eat the money. Eat the money. They
might have to.
And DFA him or just fucking cut him. And I mean, I know that's just my emotions taking over, and it's not the smart move to do. But I mean, he had one good series. Because I remember hearing like people talking on like the radio and stuff, like, oh, he got his home run. He's hitting well. He made some really nice plays last week. and then nothing. Like
Yeah.
the fact that we're continuing to talk about him, and he's supposed to be this good player as he was in the past, and you're not performing, and it's been this bad. You get off my team.
You're right. Yeah. No, he's the problem is his contract. He's, he opted in. He could have exercised his
Because
option.
he knows no other team is going to pay him.
That's it. Because what happens is if he opts out, the only thing that's he's gonna get an offer for is a minor league deal. But he's due 4 years, $98 million. That's almost $25 million a year. That's what he's making right now.
Oh my God.
And so I don't know how the Tigers
robbing
organization can just eat that. I don't know how that works. But they're going to have to. I mean, I don't know what you do with him, but they have to figure something out because
it might be the biggest heist ever. That he's just in here just stealing money.
Thanks, Al.
Yeah.
Vila.
Yeah, Al.
That goes down as probably the most boneheaded signing in Tigers history next to Zimmerman.
And I'm not letting Scott Harris off the hook either. Okay, he came in. I thought he was going to do some good things, and I feel like he's not doing. He just wants to ride this wave of what we have, and I understand we have a young team, and this could really work in our benefit. But you were so close in this last offseason to just adding a couple more pieces, right?
Right. Yeah.
The Chapman, right? You could have went and got him. Trevor Bauer,
right?
And that's a whole nother story because I think the MLB just kind of blacklisted him from playing.
Oh, Bauer, yeah.
And that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, right,
but
right.
But those are just, and you had, and I know we would have never got him, but who was it? Cody Bellinger.
Well,
right? I mean, did we even call him? And I know we don't get that information. And it's one thing. I just want to know, did we reach out to these guys and they were like, I don't want to come to Detroit and play. That's fine.
Well,
That's
the final
fair.
call comes from is Chris Ilitch. You know what I mean? So
Open up the
we
checkbook.
we can't blame it all on Scott Harris, in my opinion, because who knows what Chris Ilitch has given them. He is obviously not his dad. He is not gonna go out and splurge on a Prince fielder out of nowhere. You know what I mean? He's not gonna be signing these guys. I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah.
Because in the offseason, they are going, if they want to contend, they are going to have to sign somebody. They're going to have to pony up. They can't just rely on these prospects coming up because they're not delivering.
But what's the point of even having a general manager or a president if you don't allow him to do his job?
Right.
If you're not going to allow him to go and spend money, and we're a team, we've never been held back with money, right? We're not the A's, we're not the Royals, where we have $30-40 million salaries, right? We can spend. Look what we were a $200 million team,
right?
Back in the early 10s and early 2000s.
Yeah, we did not shy away.
So that's not the issue, and I'm not saying that we need to get back to that and be like the Dodgers, right? Or
no.
Yankees,
Yeah.
But if you have
sprinkle in a free
an
agent
owner, and what's the point of being a president if like you said, you're handcuffed? I can't even go out and get the guys that I want to do or have come to this team. What's the point? How can we move on? We just hope that these young kids pan out.
Right.
Hopefully they do, but come on, let's
be real, right?
What was it? That stat you sent me the other day was something so crazy that only 3 of the first overall draft picks are in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, for the MLB?
For the MLB?
Yeah, 3.
So that tells you right there how hard it is.
Right.
So that's why you have to go get veterans. You have to go get players that have proven themselves.
Yep, right.
All these young kids, I love the idea. They're not all going to work out. I don't know who it's going to be, who's going to be good, who's going to be bad, right, or who's not going to pan out. But
yeah, because right now, if you look at the Tigers, you have a lot of guys in this team that are not long-term options. Veerlings, the McKinstries, the Mark Cannas, the Jack Flaherty's. These guys are going to be gone, and
they're filling holes right now.
Yeah, you can't keep sprinkling those guys in and expect to win. You got to have some. You got to have some talent on the team, and these guys. Actually, Flaherty's been pitching well. Canna's played, I think, just fine, and Urshela's been good. I know he got banged up.
They're
a little
coming
bit,
in and doing what we needed them to do.
But they need talent, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what is the approach. Are they just trying to make before they start adding pieces? They want to be sure that they have the young talent up to speed, because you still got Jace Jung sitting in Toledo. Yeah. He's close. Justin Henry Malloy, he's close.
And then when they do bring up a guy, they bring up this, what is it?
Oh,
Vladdy or Velde or something. Like who? I haven't even heard of this guy. You got all these guys that you talked about all spring training, and you bring up this. I mean,
know.
No offense to that kid. It's just like
it seems like
who is this guy?
They're being very careful about how they bring these guys up, and I don't know.
Understand it.
I don't know how it's going to work out. Yeah. So we'll have to see.
All right. Well,
I got one last question though for you, real quick, before we move on to the Lions.
Yeah.
Think about the Tigers and their drafting, and then guys coming out of the organization. Think about the last good hitting prospect that we've developed and brought into the majors. Can you?
And actually performed when he got to the majors?
Yes, and had a long-lasting career. I was trying to come up with one. Castellanos, but Castellanos has still been up and down.
Castellanos was a horrible defenseman when we had him.
Right, he was not an all-around
player.
But
he was a decent hit. I mean, you thought it was going to be Green. And I still think it might be Green. I think he's just kind of slumping right now because he started out pretty hot.
Yeah, I think he's going to be all-star level.
But a guy that just came up and just took off and was,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you might be going back to the
I have no idea.
90s,
you're right.
80s,
right?
You might be talking about a Trammell or a K-line or.
I'm sure there's been guys that we've drafted and then traded away, maybe have been good. I know. Eugenio Suarez.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how well he's been performing. He had a couple good years, but
Isaac Paredes.
Isaac Paredes.
Yeah. Couldn't do anything for the Tigers. It goes to Tampa Bay, and it's like, oh, okay, great. Yeah, tearing it up.
But you know what? I don't know if he's still on that level like we're looking for.
We're never allowed to trade with the Rays ever again because any guy we give them turns out to be great.
Yeah.
For at least a year or two.
Well, that could be another. With these organizations who just have a system in place, they can bring guys in. Mm-hmm. The Tigers did do that with JD. JD came in. He was a 27-year-old prospect still. Brought him in, and
he's having a hell of a career.
Yeah, and he's been great ever since. But like I said, I just wanted to bring that up. Let's move on before we.
Let's get happy again.
Before we freaking lose any more hair.
Our Detroit Lions, what an off season they've been having. This is exciting.
They've been busy.
Schedule came out yesterday. We'll get to that in a minute, but just the draft was a couple weeks ago. We know everybody already knows what we did in the draft, but just kind of go. I thought we did pretty good. I was happy with moving up.
Yep.
I remember I said a few weeks ago we're not going to stay at what was it 29. Pick
right, yeah.
But I didn't know where we were gonna go.
I thought we would trade out of the first round.
I said trade for sure. I couldn't make a decision if we were going up or back. But I like who we got. I think it was a good move.
Yeah, no, you can't go wrong with an Alabama defensive back. I mean, look at Brian Branch. You know what I mean? He came in and played right away and was good. I think Terrion Arnold is going to be the same type of caliber player. He plays a tougher position because he's going to be guarding your number one or number two wide receiver, probably number two to start, but eventually he's going to be your number one wide receiver. He's going to have a tougher time, but I think he is going to be really good. And it's kind of funny that they doubled down on another one with that what is his name, Rick Estraw, that dude from Missouri.
Oh,
yeah.
That Manu guy.
Oh, that dude from the CFL.
Freaking huge.
He's a freak.
Oh my God, this guy's a beast.
Yeah, I kind of scratched my head with that pick, but maybe they see something and maybe they can work with the guy. I don't know.
Maybe they just looked at him and like, dude, you're so big that we're gonna throw you out here and see what happens.
Right.
I don't know. And so here's my thing. And I like the draft because we get to see all these new guys. I'm not, and you know this, I'm not a huge college fan. Never been a huge college fan for any of the sports. So I have to do a lot of research after the draft to really learn about these guys. So when they picked Arnold and I'm like, okay, cool. We got a cornerback that I think that was a position we needed.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who the hell this guy is. And I was watching the draft on TV, having it here in Detroit and stuff. It was great. And it's so funny. My cousin's over at the house and we're laughing at all these people, because it'd be like 4th round pick, the Arizona Cardinals take blah, blah, blah. And you see all the fans like, yeah. And you're like, dude, you have no idea who this guy is.
It's like that Key and Peele sketch.
came from Macomb Community College.
Yeah, right.
But
the
yeah,
Brickestall,
so
Mecca Mall.
that's on me, right? So I'm still like learning about all these guys, but and I don't like doing draft grades. I don't like
And
because
that's all nonsense.
because
Yeah,
we have
that's all
no
nonsense.
idea what is going to happen, right,
Yeah.
with these guys. But what we can judge Holmes on and the organization is what positions we picked up, right? Like, we may not know what Arnold's going to do, but we know we needed a corner.
Yeah.
We know we needed a couple corners, and we got a couple corners.
Right. You can
know?
tell that the goal was to load up on depth, with in the secondary, and they did that.
So I may not know who all these players are in their whole college career, but I do know I'm happy with the positions that we took to help this team.
Yep.
And I think overall, right now, it was a really good draft for us.
Yep.
Obviously, we'll see if it pans out, but we definitely went after what we needed. And unlike the past, you're picking players and positions that you don't really need based off names and certain things. I really think we went out and got who we needed.
Yeah, the draft was interesting to me. I loved the Arnold pick, and I thought the 6th round pick with Mekhi Wingo, defensive tackle out of LSU, was a really interesting pick. They moved up to grab him. Mm-hmm. He was hurt last year. He played 8 games. And I'm LSU. You play in the SEC. You're going against the best competition. And in those 8 games, the dude had 4.5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, and he runs a 4.85 40. That's a defensive tackle. I mean, he's a little undersized, but they could probably the Lions like versatility, and I think they like guys like that, so they could probably put him in the middle or on the edge.
Yeah,
he's depth. So I think that pick is going to be one to watch. And,
I was surprised we did not get
an edge,
a kicker.
Oh, kicker.
I don't know why. I just really thought we needed a kicker. I thought that would have been someone, and maybe they go sign that guy from the Michigan Panthers,
Bates guy, whatever.
Yeah, because he's got a hell of a leg on him right there. But I don't know. I was kind of surprised that we didn't get one, unless they really do trust Bagley.
Yeah,
and Holmes just loves going for it on 4th down.
Yeah,
yeah. Because there were so many scenarios last year, like just kick it, like, or do you not trust him?
Yeah.
So we don't know about that yet, but
now, let me add to kind of to touch on the draft a little bit. First, give me you went down to the draft.
I did.
Detroit. How was it?
It was a lot of fun. So I didn't go the first night, but I had some family in town, and we went down there Friday. Spent a few hours down there. Detroit did an amazing job.
Yeah,
it was phenomenal down there. I mean, it was freaking crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
it looked like it from TV.
There was people everywhere, and obviously you expect that. But the city looked good. They kind of had everybody contained. I like how they did it, and it was such a huge area. Mm-hmm. And one of the coolest parts that I liked is when we got there, we kind of parked over by Greektown. And we walked through Greektown trying to head into the draft, and they had all of Greektown shut down. All the roads were shut down there, and they had all the restaurants had all their windows and doors open. They had food trucks and bars set up in the street. It reminded me of like New Orleans.
Did it?
You could drink in the street. Everybody was walking around. Everything was shut down. They had music blasting all over the place. It was awesome. We did a really good job of making the city just awesome, and it was fun.
Shine.
But yeah, the crowds were a lot to handle.
Yeah.
But everybody was cool. It was cool to see all the different fans from all the different teams. Obviously, there was blue and white all over the place down there.
Yeah, the Detroit represented really well.
We did. We showed up.
Yep.
But it was cool to see. I mean, you saw every single team.
Yeah.
Everybody's in jerseys or T-shirts or hats, and it was cool. And there was no issues. People. Everybody's having fun talking to the other teams and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
I really enjoyed it. We did not stay down there for any of the actual picks. So we went down early. We wanted to kind of see the environment, and my family that was in town, they had their kids with them too. So once it started getting really, really busy, we wanted to get
Get
kids
them
out of there just
Yeah.
before they got, lost in the crowd because there was, it was shoulder to shoulder when we were trying to make our way out of there. But again, Detroit, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to experience it. I can check it off the list.
That's cool. Yeah, that's good. It's good you went down there, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was good times.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I wish I could have made it down. It looked awesome on TV. I just remember thinking as I'm watching him, like, man, like I don't remember ever seeing or watching a draft like this before. You know what I mean? I know I'm biased because I'm from the area, but I just did not remember ever seeing a draft with that much energy.
It was so cool. So top that, Green Bay.
Right. Yeah.
That's where it's at next year.
And how cool was the intro, bringing out Hutch and St. Brown and Goff and Eminem.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was awesome.
That was like I felt like they did that perfectly.
And maybe I just don't remember watching all the other drafts, or maybe I just didn't pay attention. I do not ever remember any other draft putting on a spectacle like that.
Yeah.
Because where were they last year? Cleveland or Kansas City?
I think it was KC.
KC. I don't remember them doing that. I know they had Big Sean come out and perform.
Yeah, they might bring like one guy out there and then like hype him up a little bit, but like they had.
Yeah.
Like, now this year was awesome.
Well, when we were down there on the stage, obviously when we were down there, nothing's going on, right? You could see all the ESPN shows and everything. That was kind of cool in the background.
Right.
Pat McAfee show and stuff was down there. That was cool. But on the actual stage of the draft, all day, they had just different bands up there or different DJs up there that were
kind of keeping the vibe going.
Yeah, because otherwise there's really nothing going on,
yeah,
right? When you're not starting the draft till 8:00 at night.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. We didn't really stop and listen to them, but as we walked by the stage, I was like, "Well, that's cool," because people were getting there and like getting into their spot really early to make sure they had a good spot to see when the actual draft started. So they kept the crowd entertained. So that was good.
That's awesome. All right, let's kind of move on a little bit, but I want to keep it. I want to keep it within the draft. I wanted to ask you and get each of our opinions. Like, okay, just taking the Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell era. So obviously starting in 2021 in the first draft. Who do you think has been the most important pick? And that can be this year too. That's fine.
Yeah.
And who's been the most exciting pick or player that you think? I'll start with you. Who's the most important? Who's been the most important?
To me, right off the get, this is just right from the dome. St. Brown.
Okay.
Period.
Can't complain.
I think he is an amazing player for our offense. Now, and we'll get to the re-signing, but now he's the highest paid or second highest paid.
Yeah, he
receiver.
was for the highest for a second, and then
I know everybody else's contracts are starting to roll in.
Right.
But even so, that just shows a 4th round pick. You don't really know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He comes in. I think he is amazing for our offense, and I don't think it matters what quarterback we have. And that's nothing against Goff or any future quarterback. I love Goff. But St. Brown's going to do what he does no matter who's there.
Oh, so yeah, he's elite.
I really think he was our most valuable pick in this Holmes era. Only because of what he has done on the field. I mean, in those playoff games, getting that, that first down there to secure the win in that playoff game, and just everything else. And he's and he didn't even want to be here.
No, I know.
But to show that he didn't want to come play for Detroit, but sucked it up. And now look at him, and now he's happy to be here because we're doing some good things. So I really like St. Brown.
Yeah, he's a warrior, dude. I mean, he's
the sun god.
Yeah, I love St. Brown. He's actually my favorite Lion, just because of what he stands for. I mean, he works his ass off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He sets
no
the tone
issues,
for this
doesn't
team.
Cause any problems.
No, he just goes out and plays banged up, plays through whatever. I mean, he takes hits. He's
Here's
tough
to
as
you,
nails.
St. Brown.
That's right. Yeah, no, he's a stud. All right, now who's been the most exciting pick?
Oh man, that's a tough one. There's a couple guys that come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Hutch. Just because of this guy's determination.
Yeah.
And I know his stats don't really show, but I mean he's getting double teamed, but he's in that backfield almost every single play. And in and Gibbs. And I say Gibbs because of the way he bounces off players. He, not saying he is, but man, he's got some Barry-esque style moves.
Yep, right.
So I don't know. I think there's so many guys that are just really, really been such a factor to joining this team.
Yep.
Hutch is exciting. I think Gibbs is exciting. I mean, even like Sewell, right? I mean, yeah, he had that one cool catch last year, 2 seasons ago. But what he's doing for that offensive line is amazing. And I feel like a lot of those guys go overlooked because it's not a sexy position, right? You're not getting the ball. You don't really see, the stats don't really, no one's looking at that stuff.
So as far as Sewell goes, like to piggyback off of this this topic, I think Penei Sewell has been the most important Brad Holmes pick.
Okay.
Just for all the things that you labeled. He makes Goff better. He makes St. Brown better.
I mean, without him, these other guys can't do what they do.
Right. The offensive line is, one of the best in the NFL, and the heartbeat of that team is within the offensive line, and I think it's within him. He's a leader. He's going to be, he's an all-pro. He's going to be, in my opinion, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, along with St. Brown. I think both of those guys are eventually going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
I think, that first pick in 2021, I think they had the 7th pick. They took Penei Sewell, and you could see the excitement when they drafted him because they knew Cincinnati messed up by not drafting him.
Yeah.
And they knew, okay, no, we got our cornerstone. I know he's a right tackle right now, but once Decker leaves, who's probably going to be
swing back over, yeah.
But he's just that guy. You know what I mean? He's that.
And I'm glad
guy.
that we locked him and St. Brown up. So as far as their resignings, because let's get
they're
those
your best
now.
Players. They're your
best
best
players, and a lot of people,
leaders.
Are concerned about the future, but the salary cap over like the next 3 or 4 years is going up another $40 million.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So, and from what I've heard, some of the things I've read, they're front loading these contracts, which is smart by the Lions to front load the contracts right now. So in the next 3-4 years, when you start to get Laporta, Branch, and
Hutch.
This is nothing against Gibbs. This is just running back. He's probably not going to be here after his first contract, only because running backs are only around for like 4 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against Gibbs.
It's easier to find a good running back than it is usually.
And hopefully he stays around because I do really like him. But
me too.
That's one of the things, because you also have to think, we're not going to keep everybody.
You just can't.
But if we can front load these contracts right now, and then you have a chance to reset, we may not only have to lose a couple people.
Right. I think that's interesting, and
so I'm happy that they got the signings out of the way. Let's get it. They deserve it right now. Obviously, they were due it anyways, and now looking forward, I don't think we have to worry so much when not everyone's contracts are going to come together at the same time.
I think with the signings and the extensions, it's interesting that they only max these guys out at 4 years. Like, I thought for sure Goff would have got a 5 or 6 year deal. You know what I mean? Just because he's only 29 years old. But I think it shows that they're like, okay, we're gonna pay you now, but in a couple of years we're gonna have to re-up some of these other guys. And Holmes, they did that with Sewell and St. Brown. Those guys only got 4 year deals, right?
Holmes is those are the longest contracts he's signed yet.
Right.
I mean, obviously the rookie contracts, like I think the first round pick is like 5 years. There's nothing you can do about it. That's just a negotiated thing by the league and the CBA. But as far as free agent signings or re-signings, Holmes doesn't do these long contracts. And I've always liked that about him. I've never understood, I don't have to get into it, but like baseball, 10, 12-year signings. It's ridiculous.
Right, I know.
Right? Even hockey is starting to do that. Because I don't know, that's a long time to commit to somebody. 4 years? Okay, we can talk 4 years.
Yeah, right.
You should be good for the next 4 years.
For sure. Well, let me ask you this really quick. So out of Gibbs, Laporta, Hutch, Branch, J-Mo, Jack Campbell, and Terrion Arnold, let's say in the next 4 to 5 years, who do we keep out of those guys? You're not going to keep all of them. It's just probably not possible, but who do you think is going to be?
So if I got to go on it, Gibbs is gone only because he's a running back.
And I want to say real quick, Gibbs was the most exciting draft pick for me. I freaking love Gibbs. Anytime he's in the backfield,
he's awesome.
I get excited.
And I mean no disrespect to Gibbs. I just
No, I know. I
I'm
just
going
wanted to throw that out.
because I love him too, and he's going to be awesome for us for the next 4 or 5
right.
years. But running backs don't stay around, and
I agree with you there.
You know,
Yeah.
our local radio host always says we don't pay running backs.
Yes, right.
I tend to agree with that because
Yep.
you can go find another guy
Yeah.
that can do what he's doing. So,
sure.
and again, nothing against Gibbs, but I don't think he's going to be here. Where's that list? Laporta will be here. Hutch will be here.
I think Laporta is a you got to keep him here.
I think
He's
Laporta
big.
and Hutch will be here.
Yep.
I think Branch will be here.
See, now I disagree. I could see like I guess it depends on what he gets to. I could see him
He could be a
re-signing
question
him.
mark, but I don't think JMO will be here.
No.
I mean, and a
That's
lot
gonna
of
be
these,
interesting to see his
and
trajectory.
and Campbell's another one that I'm like,
Yeah, it's gonna.
I don't
depend on
know.
how, I think Campbell's gonna have a really good second year, so that'll be interesting. And Terry and Arnold, that's just too soon.
So
Who
JMO
knows?
and Branch to me, and I have to look at it like, because I think Branch could really be an amazing slot corner, right? Because that's kind of where they put it. I don't know if he's
Yeah,
going to
he's
be
the nickel
if he's
guy,
going to
yeah.
be a CB1 or 2, and he might. But I think he could be a really good nickel corner. But JMO, I don't know what the Lions need to do more with him. And I'm not putting this on JMO that any lack of talent, but when you only get 20 catches.
Yeah, he didn't
last
get meant.
year?
Yeah, he was suspended for the first few years, or
But
first
still,
few games. But
only
yeah.
20 catches, somewhere around there. I know I'm
Yeah.
not far off. But then you see what he did in the playoffs. The guy is fast as shit. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I mean, he can run.
Well, yeah.
So if we can get him more involved, then maybe he'll be around. But as of right now, I feel like we're just.
I think you're going to see. I don't think he's going to get a ton of catches. I think but he is going to be that type of guy that's going to get a few a game, maybe get 50 yards receiving. But then they're going to sprinkle in these reverses like they had against.
And that's perfect for him. And I
That
think
was the best play of his Lions career.
Yeah.
That reverse against the.
It's also,
against the
to me,
Niners.
it seems strange to, and I don't know exactly what his contract is, but I know he's getting paid some good money because he was a first-round draft pick.
Well, they do, yeah, but they have now that with the new collective bargaining agreement they had years ago that he's on a rookie deal. They're all capped. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah. So he's
But still, I know-
not making much.
So I don't want to see us waste money on a guy that gets 20 catches a year.
Yeah, no, I
I
know.
feel like that would be another position that you could go.
You could probably
find,
reload. Yeah.
You could go find somebody like who comes to mind is and this is, I'm going back a little bit, but Devin Hester.
Oh yeah.
Right,
For the Bears.
For the Bears,
Yeah.
he was like when returning balls was off kicks was a thing, right?
Yeah,
now
right,
nobody
right.
cared. But he was also kind of that slot receiver or
The speed guy. Yeah.
wraparound receiver, right? But he didn't do much, and that's kind of how I say. I just would hate to see us spend money on a guy that
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because how I'm looking at it is, okay, most teams are going to look at us and be okay, we need to worry about Laporta and St. Brown. Those are their only two options,
Yeah.
right? I mean, obviously Reynolds last year, and we'll see what happens with the new guys coming in. But okay, Reynolds was getting every few passes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We already know JMO. He only caught 20-some passes, so okay, he might get one, right? It's Laporta and Brown.
You're right.
So double team them, spy them, stay on whatever it is. So
You still have Gibbs. Gibbs. I think they're going to use him a little bit more.
and they are. But what I was just getting at,
Yeah.
at least if you had St. Brown, Laporta, and JMO lined up,
Oh,
you don't know
right.
where. Even though, Gibbs in the
Oh
background,
yeah.
but
Right. You have a lot of options.
if you're throwing, you automatically drop back. You got to think, all right, it's Laporta or Brown.
Yep.
Because the chances that it's going to JMO is so slim.
Oh right.
Because
right. Yeah.
we
I
just
see what
don't
you're
give him
saying.
the ball.
Yeah.
He's
I
just
see what
out there
you're
as a
saying.
distraction. But now people are I'm gonna see. I can see other teams being like, well, he's
You
just
have-
a distraction. So just one-on-one him. Like, who cares how fast he is? Because they're looking for he's third or fourth target on Goff's check down list. That was my only thing.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. The one thing I do like with the Lions offense, it seems like they have every area of the field covered. You know what I mean? As far as Laporta, catching them short passes where he just kind of sits in the flat.
Yeah.
St. Brown kind of does that too, but he'll sprinkle out to the perimeter, and then you have a Gibbs, and then you have JMO who can, we saw in the Tampa game that we were at. He
Yeah.
can take the top off or he can take those end arounds and take it to the house. That when I saw that run against the Niners in the NFC Championship game, I was like, okay, yep, that's what they brought this guy here for. He can find a lane, and then he will just accelerate, and he's gone.
Now to J-Mo's defense, I think your kids
my
looking for
2-year-old is freaking out calling me. Anyway, sorry.
To J-Mo's defense, and Goff doesn't have the arm to reach J-Mo.
He doesn't, no.
Unfortunately. So I think that also plays into it. Yeah, J-Mo's going to burn a corner.
Yeah.
But, like, Goff, you're gonna be able to get it there? Goff is better off just throwing it right away and let J-Mo catch up to it.
Yeah, just sprint down the field.
Yeah, instead of you trying to catch it up to J-Mo. Just throw it and just go get it.
Yeah, right. Can we at least, is it fair to say that we don't have to worry about the J-Mo pick anymore? Like, it was a big deal. Remember, it was a big talking point for this team. I don't think we need to worry about that pick anymore.
No.
Where did we take him? Was it 12th? We took him 12th overall. Maybe that was still a stretch for what the production, but you know what? He's still a productive member of the team.
I give him, and not necessarily hit, just the whole situation.
Yeah.
I give him a little bit more pushback because of that.
Yeah.
High first round draft pick.
Yeah.
You're only giving him 20 catches in his first, somewhat full season.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, that's.
I know. Yeah. But
kind of a waste, but I guess better to have him on our team than him be anywhere else. So.
Right. I could see him getting some more targets this year just with him, with Josh Reynolds being gone. I think they're going to try and rely on, it'll be interesting to see how they do it. Josh Reynolds was money besides the last game of the year.
Yeah, besides the last throw he was supposed to catch.
Yeah, he was pretty money for the most part this time of the year, last time.
So all right, well, let's talk real quick before we get out of here. Goff, we signed him finally.
Yep.
Happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
You good with the amount of money he got?
Yeah, I figure with these quarterbacks, that's the going rate. Tua, Dak. Who else is going to be due for a new deal here soon? Those guys are going to get more. You watch. I don't know. Are they necessarily
he's
better?
the number 2 quarterback in the league right now. Joe Burrow's ahead of him.
As far as pay. Yeah, but watch.
By the end of the year, or this time next year, he'll be 6th, 7th, 8th highest paid player.
I'll be fine with that. That's
and I'm fine with
it
because I keep saying it. $40 more million is coming to the salary cap over the next couple years.
Yep.
Right. So,
and if they have to, they will restructure. They did it with Mahomes' deal. They will restructure, rework, load it with signing bonuses, this and that.
Yeah.
And
that's why they hire those mathematicians and analysts to come in and
geeks
and really break down the pay. That's I couldn't even do that. But the fact to come in, look at a salary cap. All right, well, if you give him this much this year and take away this year, it's crazy how it always. But yes, I'm happy. Goff's my quarterback. I'm happy he's here to stay.
I'm glad they got it done in the offseason. Glad they got Sewell, St. Brown, and Goff done in the offseason.
And it's better that we did it now until those other guys come in and get paid. And now Goff's like, well, instead of 53 a year? I want 58.
Right, yeah.
Right? If Tua's going to get 58, I want 58.
Right.
Right? And I understand how this whole thing works with this re-signing. It's just
the only thing
better to be the first one.
For sure. The only thing I wonder is, last year they could have, I don't know the inner workings and the inner dialogue that they could have had. If they could have done it last year, could they have gotten them for under 50? I don't know, but I guess it's better that they did it now compared to.
We also don't see the behind the scenes thing, right? Maybe Goff was like, no, I'm going to wait because he probably knew.
I'm going to bet on myself.
I'm going to bet on myself, and I'm going to go.
He knew the team was good, and
I'm going to go get myself 50 plus next year instead of 45 this year. Let me go find $7 more million. You know,
he deserves it.
He does.
Yeah, I'm happy with him. He's a good leader of this team, and they always seem to rally around him. And
it's going to be good. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, for sure. Let's dive into the schedule really quick. Like I said, next week we're going to give our prediction and our. We'll go through each game, but what stands out to you with the schedule? And
well, this is on a personal preference, but Sunday, September 22nd, against the Arizona Cardinals, only because Well, hey, shit. Oh, I'm just going to say that's why we're on here. Mike's on the mics live from Arizona.
That's got a good ring to it.
Yeah,
Poolside by a nice pool before we go
I'm
to the
gonna
game.
be floating. I'm just gonna be holding the microphone in the pool, floating, and we'll just do a quick 30-minute podcast out there.
Sunburnt like a mofo.
So yeah, the plan is to all go out there as long as it works out for everybody. I'm super excited. So that one sticks out, and I didn't even think about that. We should definitely do a podcast. Why we're there.
I think so. If it works out, we definitely should.
But yeah, so that one, that's game. A personal preference, only because I'm excited to go to Arizona.
Yep.
I'm really enjoying opening up against the Rams. I thought that was pretty cool.
The Rams and Bucks. I mean, it's the first and second round of the playoffs again. It's crazy.
I do have one issue with this guy, and it has nothing to do with the teams. There's only 6 or 7 1:00 games
for the Lions.
We are either primetime, America's game of the week,
Thursday games,
and which I love the attention that the team's getting. There's also something about being done with watching football at 3-4 o'clock on Sunday, and now
we got these late.
This is just the old man of me me coming out, and it's like
we have back-to-back Thursday games too.
Yeah, it's weird. So that was my only thing. It's like, oh great, I'm so used to. We get the one Thursday game for Thanksgiving for our prime time. So I'm excited to see late in the season, second to last week, the 49ers. That could be a huge game.
Yeah, could be.
We could both be fighting for
top
1, 2 seed. Yep. I don't know. I like how they put that one
towards the end.
Yeah. Yep. And then my last one that I'm excited for all of it, but I'm excited to see us play C.J. Stroud. I want to see.
That's a game I was gonna pick for the. That game could be fun too. You know, I have a game too that I think could be interesting too that maybe most people aren't thinking about it is against the Colts because they have Anthony Richardson. I think he's an exciting player. The Colts were pretty good last year. Even though they lost him for the season, I think that could be a really fun game. And obviously, those mobile quarterbacks like to give the Lions fits.
Yeah.
But I think the toughest game of the season is definitely against the Niners.
And going to Green Bay. I mean, obviously we do that. You know, play them twice a year. That's going to be tough. But I'm really excited. I don't know why. But I can't wait for fucking Hutch to put JJ in the ground when we play Minnesota.
Yeah,
Welcome to the NFL.
I could take off my Michigan fandom hat now, and I can wish for the same. I don't know. I think he's going to have a hell of a time, but we'll see.
He's going to have one of those welcome to the NFL moments, and it may not be by Hutch. It'll happen earlier, but man, I can't wait to see Hutch just go put his ass into the ground.
I hope I see that with Caleb Williams. I cannot stand him. He played at USC. I can't stand USC.
All of them.
I watched him play.
Caleb, JJ, and Love.
Yeah, you get your ass rocked.
Exactly.
It's going to be fun to watch with these 2 new quarterbacks coming into the division, and then Jordan Love elevating himself. The Lions and Packers that's going to be tough this year. Packers are going to be really good.
We're going to split.
Probably.
We'll both win our home games. We'll lose in Lambeau.
Probably.
They'll lose here. We'll win here.
I wonder if we'll sweep against the Bears and Vikings. I could see us losing. If you got those 4 games there, I think you could lose one of those games.
And we'll get into this next week, but we're going to lose a game that we should win.
Right, and then opposite. Vice
just
versa.
like last year, right? We should have never lost that second game to the Bears.
Right, they kicked our ass.
But we did.
Yeah.
And then we'll go out and we'll win a game that we should. The problem is, the Lions are a team now where we have an actual chance to win every game. Now we're going 17-0.
No.
But we're actually in every game. We're like 3-4 years ago, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe we beat the 49ers, right? Like a fucking fluke. Or we beat the Chiefs or whoever's good back in the day. Like, wow, we actually won that game. But then you go lose 4 in a row to garbage teams. Yeah. So we're going to lose a game that we're not supposed to lose. And to your point of like, we'll win one we're not supposed to. That might not even an option anymore because I really think we have a chance to win every game because of where we're at.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we're only talking 3 to 6 losses anyways on the season.
Yeah, I agree.
So
it'll be interesting.
But I'm excited next week to get into dive into
game.
the schedule, and we'll do game by game, or even if we do the first half.
Yeah, well, let's
we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
but
we'll
it's
figure it
gonna be
out.
fun.
Yeah,
And then we'll reach out to the listeners once we get through ours for them to give us their feedback on what you guys think their record's going to be.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be great to get everybody's prediction and input on that. All right, Mike. Well, I think we should wrap it up.
That's it. That's all we got.
Short of an hour. Let's wrap it up. And
hope you guys enjoy.
Yep.
Happy to be back.
Thanks for listening.
We love all of you guys.
Yep. Keep it real.
Everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Cheers.